In Parshat Chukat, we learn of the death of Aaron, the brother of Moshe and Miriam, first Kohen Gadol, the first high priest. And it's a very beautiful scene. Hashem says to Moshe, prepare your brother Aaron, come up to the mountain was called Horahar, bring with him his son Elazar, who is to be his successor. Bring him up into the cave, as Rashi explains. There you'll find like a bed, put him on the bed, remove his priestly garments, dress his son in his priestly garments, and then Aaron will pass away peacefully. And in fact, when Moshe saw this, this was the death that he aspired to, this peaceful death. And the Torah tells us that the entire Jewish people mourned for Aaron for 30 days. It says the entire Jewish people. At the end of the Torah, when it speaks about the death of Moshe, it says that the Jewish people mourned the death of Moshe, but it doesn't say all of them. Why? What's the distinction? And our sages point out, Moshe was the rabbi, he was the judge. People came to him for adjudication, for litigation, and sometimes he had to say, you're innocent and you are guilty. And people had negative feelings towards him. But that wasn't the role of Aaron. Aaron had a different role. And in fact, the prophet says that Aaron turned many people away from sin and brought people closer to Hashem. And as we read in Pirkei Avot, where Hillel says, Hevei talmidav shel Aaron, you should aspire to be of the disciples of Aaron. Ohev shalom, you should love peace. Rodev shalom, you should pursue peace. Ohev et abriot, you should love people. Makavan l'Torah, you should bring them close to Torah. That's what Aaron did. That's why we see, for example, when it came to the golden calf, Aaron's behavior, which for us is difficult to understand, instead of rebuking the people and knocking the people, he realizes that they're in the midst of a frenzy. They are full of anxiety that Moshe hasn't come back. And he says to them, okay, bring me all of your gold. He's trying to buy time, to save time, because maybe Moshe will come back. He says, I'll build the altar. It'll take long if I do it by myself. And even though it was wrong that he was involved in the creation of the golden calf and the altar that went with it, but his intentions were pure. It was to save the Jewish people. And indeed, the Midrash tells us that he had a profound effect on so many people that when he died, they named their children after. There were many marriages that he saved because he was able to speak to the couple and bring them back together again. And even when two people were arguing, Aaron had a brilliant strategy. He would go to one of them and he'd say, Reuven, Shimon is really upset about what he did to you, but he's too embarrassed, he can't speak to you. So I'm coming to you and I'm telling you. And then he would run over to Shimon and he would say exactly the same thing. It was a little bit of a white lie, but he would bring people back together again. And even a sinner, Aaron would go to this person and he would speak to them. He wouldn't even speak about the sin. He wouldn't rebuke them. He would just befriend them and be nice to them. And the sinner would say to themselves, if Aaron really knew who I was, he would never have bothered speaking to me. The high priest came and spoke to me with such love and affection. And that would motivate the person to change their ways. This was Aaron. And we should be of his disciples, loving people, caring for people, doing our utmost to bring them back to Judaism and back to Hashem. I wish you a Shabbat Shalom.